Okay, we are going to be talking about how you can build a solid relationship. And one of the things that have broken a lot of marriages or that have caused so many people heartbreak, it's the foundation. And so I'm going to be trying in this video to let you know the process of dating relationship. I've always tell people that any relationship that will lead to marriage will not happen accidentally. Everything has to be intentional. And as much as I can, I want to take up this series on relationship and marriage to help some people. Yes, I'm not a relationship coach, but I am a system coach. I am passionate about seeing people live better, actualize their dream. I'm also very passionate about leadership, seeing leaders do the right thing. And that's why when you follow me, you see that I talk a lot on leadership. And because I'm passionate about seeing people live well, I talk on other issues. That's why I'm referred to as system coach, because I touch different aspects of life that makes your life better. And so in this series, I'm going to be dealing with relationship and marriage. A lot of people are having heartbreaks. And sometimes when I'm calling to the issue, I just discover that they are avoidable situations or they are just unnecessary heartbreaks. And because this series is going to take us a while, I'm going to just start by saying, for me, every relationship that will lead into marriage, I've categorized them into four. One is acquaintance. Two is friendship. Three is dating, or what we also call courtship. And then four, the marriage. So let's take them gradually. First is acquaintance. You see some guys just walk to a random guy, random lady, maybe in an event or on the street, and they just tell the lady, oh, I love you, I like you, I want to marry you, I would like you to be the mother of my children. And they say all those rhetorics, and then they exchange numbers, and then they start calling themselves, and then before you know it, the lady is already running to her friends and family members and telling them, I'm engaged. It doesn't happen that way. That's why we have a lot of heartbreaks. That person you just met is still a stranger to you. The best you can do within a short period of time is to put that person in a box, in a bracket. That person is still an acquaintance. At that level of acquaintance, you are just discussing general issues, whether on phone or when you meet. It should be general issues. Now, there is no time gap for this, but you will define depending on how matured your discussion goes. Because the truth is that some people want to get married for the sake of getting married, and they are not emotionally prepared. They are not emotionally matured. And so they get into relationship not even knowing what to start with, not what to discuss. And all they think about is what they watch in the movies, the things they read in love story books, and they think that is about marriage. No, it is more practical than what you think. All of those things can be summarized in a movie in just few scenes. But the truth is that if you must spend the rest of your life with someone, you must not be in a rush. You must follow certain process. And one of them I said is acquaintance. When you exchange number with this person, or maybe you just meet once in a while with this person to talk, the issues you should be talking about are general issues. At this level, you don't go about asking person, what's your name? Where do you live? But no, at this level of acquaintance, anything you want to ask the person, you should first of all tell the person about yourself. In other words, answer it for yourself before you ask. Let me give you instance. You met this lady or you met this guy, as the case may be, and you want to get to know the person's name. Oh, hi, my name is Femi. Can I get to know your name? You have introduced yourself first, and then you wait for the person to introduce his or herself. Now, when you get talking along the line, now you want to know what this person do for a living. You start from yourself. Oh yes, I'm a printer by occupation and all of that. And then you wait for the person, okay, you what do you do? You see, you don't just push questions to people. You want to know them and they don't know you. You should first of all let them know you so that they can be open enough, they can be comfortable enough to tell you who they are. General questions on the surface, you don't go deep at this level. The person is still a stranger to you. We've been talking for 1 week, yes. We've been talking for 2 weeks, yes. You are still strangers, except you people are matured enough. And when I say matured, I'm not saying your age. I'm talking about how you handle matters. Now, from your end and from the person's end, sometimes short discussion could already signal to you that this person is matured enough for a deeper conversation. Or sometimes you just know that okay, this conversation could just be at this surface level, and then you get to know the person. So while you're talking, you're asking all these general questions about the person. Okay, oh, I am from Cross River State. Can I get to know your state? The person tells you the state. Now, all these little stipend, these questions you are asking, they are already giving you an introduction into this person's life so that you will know whether you can move beyond that level to another level. And at this point, that is not the time to be telling your friends or your family members that I'm in a relationship. You are not in a relationship yet. You met a random stranger. Both of you exchange numbers. You are still talking as strangers. That is acquaintance level. It doesn't matter whether the person belongs to the same religion or belongs to the same denomination like you, or maybe the same course mate or your neighbor or whatever circle you can call it. You should understand that the first process that will lead to marriage will start with acquaintance, shallow level. You don't go at this level to begin to tell the person, oh, what you have passed what you have gone through in past relationship. It doesn't matter at this level because you don't know how this person will react to it. You don't go telling the person your health issues. No, at this level, it should just be this normal discussion. Hi, how are you? Yeah, how was your night? I hope you are fine, and all that. Then when you think that you can move from this level, then you move to the next level of friendship. Like I said, there is no time bound for this. You decide from your senses, your wisdom, you decide when it graduates from. And please don't be very emotional about this because some people just box themselves into this. I want to get married. My friends are married. Oh, my parents are mounting pressure on me. Oh, my pastor is talking. Oh, this or that. Don't put yourself in that kind of situation. At acquaintance level, you can have many guys around who are your acquaintance and you just talk at that level. You can have ladies at that level. The problem is that some of you just meet this stranger and you say, I'm engaged, and then every other person, and before you know, when you greet somebody else and the person is asking you, you are cheating on me. How did cheating come into the matter? You are still dealing with yourself as strangers. And so at this point, you are free to spread your net, to talk with people. So when you feel like it has moved from that level, you have known certain surface issues about this person have known these issues about you, then you can graduate to the next level, which is friendship. At friendship level, At this point, you are comfortable enough to tell the person certain things. For instance, at friendship level, that's when you begin to know about this person's personal beliefs, values. At acquaintance level, you would have known the religion this person belongs to. Because for some people, religion is a big deal. For you, at this level of acquaintance, you've known the religion the person belongs to. Now, when you become friends, you now begin to know the person's values, the person's principles, person's belief. And mind you, I said, some of these things, before you even push it out to the person, you should be able to know them for yourself. What are your values? What are your principles? What are your beliefs? Because people belong to different religion. Some people take religion at the surface level. Some people are very, you know, hardened when it comes to religion. They are so soaked in it. At friendship level, this person should know your religious commitment. Because are you the kind of person who will not miss service for anything? You got to discuss things like this at friendship level. Let this person know about it. You got to discuss your educational background. The person need to know at this level. Okay, what are your ambitions? At friendship level, you can go ahead and discuss your ambition. What are you planning? You cannot just be living life like whatever happens, let it happen, and believing in law. No, 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 no. Life is lived intentionally. And so at this level, you should be able to discuss your ambitions, where you are, where you are going to, what you are doing in the process. And you should be able to hear from the other person too. You should know whether this person is coming from a polygamous home or whether a monogamous home. Yes, as simple as it sounds, it will also help informing their orientation in life. You now know, but by the time you are discussing issues like this, you're already picking at things. You know whether this person has a tendency to want to marry, especially for the men like in Africa, wants to marry a second or a third wife. So you don't downplay those things. At your friendship level, you already know. You have to know the relationship between this person, your friend, and the family, like the parents, the siblings. You know, there are some children who are so tied to their parents or their siblings, they cannot take any major decisions in life except their family members have contributed to it. You got to know the role the family plays in this person's life so that when you people begin to talk about something serious, maybe marriage and the rest, you should know to an extent you can take it or the extent you cannot take it. And so that is very important. So you should, at friendship level, you should talk about your deal breakers. There are things that you can take in marriage, there are things you cannot take in marriage. Some people believe that, oh, the deal breaker for me is if my wife cheats, the marriage ends. As a lady, when you hear that from a guy, you should also be able to ask the guy, if your wife cheats, if the guy himself cheat, will he be ready for the lady to take it or she should break up the marriage? There are things you people should iron out. There are things that will not look very serious to you. You can just take them lightly. But to the other person, the person may not, because we all have different backgrounds. And so some deeper issues, your health issue, if you have any underlying health issues, this person should know it at friendship level. And so at this friendship level where you are beginning to discuss some personal and deep issues, it can now graduate to dating or courtship. Because in the secular, we call it dating. In the religious setting, we call it courtship, whichever way you are comfortable with. But you see, this dating, before you even said we are dating, there should be an official proposal. For me, proposal can come from the lady or from the guy. I don't care. Whoever takes the first initiative. Now, but the thing is this, you cannot just be talking with somebody, relating with somebody, or assisting yourselves in one way or the other, maybe financially, emotionally, otherwise, and then you begin to tell people we are dating. And that's why a lot of people live in assumption. Some people just tell people, "Oh, we are dating," whereas the other person doesn't know, doesn't believe that you are dating. So you must know when you are dating. You should know, don't assume it. The person or one of you should have officially, say it out. I want us to graduate this relationship from friendship to marriage. Will you like to be my wife? Will you like to be my husband? As the case may be. And then there should be a response. If that person keeps you on a wait and say, let me go and think about it, or let me go and pray about it, as the case may be, don't go about telling people we are dating. You are not dating until you get a response from the person. And so when you get a positive response, that is when the dating kicks off. Now you are not dating. Now, when you are dating, there are things you now discuss. You are discussing your family, that is your future family issues. Issues like your family values. What will be, because you see, at friendship level, we've talked about your own personal values and principles. If you don't have personal values, you will not even know how to build a family value or family vision. You must sit together and ask yourself, what kind of family do we want to raise? It's not just coming in together and then tomorrow one person is saying this, the other person is saying this. What kind of children do you people want to raise? Because some of the problem we have in society are children who are not properly raised and they are causing nuisance in the society. And so coming together, you people must decide, how do we want to raise our kids? Not the situation where the woman is saying, sit down, the man is saying, stand up. The woman is saying, don't play, the man is saying, play. Or the man is carrying a cane to flog the child, and the mother is saying, don't beat my child. And all of these confusions they raise in the heads of the children. Before you know, the children are running towards the mother or running to the father. You must spell out your family vision. What are the values? How do you want to raise your kids? Which area do you want to live? Because for some people, especially when it is distance relationship, it is only when some people get to marry that they now begin to say, oh, I want to stay in this state, I want to live in this city, and they start arguing about it. At dating level, people should have spelled that out. Where do we want to live? Or which part of the city or the state do we want to live? What kind of schools should our children attend? Because it's going to help you in planning even your finances and other things. How many children do we want to have? It's surprising that some people get into relationship, they marry, and that is when they are not thinking, should we have two? Or the woman just start giving birth, first, second, third, and then one person is saying, I want six, and the other person is saying, is enough. No, no, no. That should have been handled during the dating. You people should have discussed it. How many children do you want to raise? And you settle that. And then your finances. How do you want, your occupation? For me, before I got married, I knew that at least one spouse would need to have control over his or her time so that you can have time for the children. And so I was not into career job. I decided I was going to start my own business so that if I marry a wife who is into career, I will not stop her in any way. And so she can run a normal job, 9 to 5, as the case may be, and then I will run my business, control my time, and also have time for the children. Because for me, I don't believe so much in domestic stuff. So, and luckily for me, I married a wife who runs her own business. So in a way, both of us, though I have more control of my time than her kind of business. But then you must discuss issues like this. It's not as if two of you are into business or the jobs that take the whole of your time. You leave home very early, you come back very late. And then that is when one person is telling the other. And in a patriarchal nation like Africa, Nigeria, that we find ourselves, You hear the man telling the woman, you must have to stop your work, stay home as a full-time mother, take care of the kid. And the woman is saying, no, I went to school, I have this qualification, I can't stay at home. And they are fighting and going about for counseling. Because why? These issues were not handled in time. Even if one person have to, along the line, drop for something else, then there should be a better provision for it. These things should not be done overnight and should not be done with chaos, with anger, with fighting. It should be settled amicably. But then, in dating relationship, if you are not yet married, you can put these things in place and ask yourself, how are we going to control our time so that we have time for the kids, so that we have time for one or two things. So all of these things, you have put it together. Your in-laws, how are you going to relate with the in-laws? Is it that one person will just come and stay overnight and never, especially a mother-in-laws in this part of the world, there's always very many issues with mother-in-laws. But you need to settle that during your dating. You have to find out if our in-laws come for visit. Of course, definitely once in a while they will come. If they come for visit, how long do they stay? Can we allow any of our in-law to stay with us for as much as he or she would like? These things should be discussed so that you don't come in, one person is saying no, I don't like this, and the other person say, oh, you don't want my family members. So your relationships in life should be very intentional. Get the right knowledge, do the right thing. Don't just rush into it. And when you think sometimes this courtship also goes around about with your church counseling, as the case may be, or a marriage counselor beside you, or one of your mentors who's also talking with you people, and as the case may be. But whichever way it is, you must understand that everything has to be intentional. You take record of most of these things in your brain, or if you can write them down, better. And then the number 4 thing, first we said acquaintance, then we talk about friendship, and then it graduates to dating or courtship, and then you can now talk about marriage. In marriage, I will just talk about the surface. In other videos, I will talk more on that. But then you have to talk, you are planning your marriage, you have to plan the budget of your wedding. What type of wedding do you want to do? Is it the traditional? Is it the court registry, or whichever form? You have to decide it. What's your budget? Sometimes one partner just goes somewhere, sits down, and have this long list of how their wedding will be. And the other person is just sitting down aloof. And then when they come together, their budget cannot even carry, or they spend all their savings just to please strangers who will come and eat, collect souvenirs, and go home. And then they come back home and they are struggling, fighting with themselves, and it's raising a lot of tension in the family. So you must plan properly. What's your budget? What are the things we can do with, and what are the things we cannot do with? And all of that. Who are the kind of friends that we are bringing in? Who are those in the committee? Sometimes people want to marry these days and they are forming committee, and they just randomly meet somebody and say, you are going to be my committee member. You are going to be my wedding committee. The question is, who are these people and why are you bringing them in? You have to draft your budget, and don't just bring people into your committee because you are looking for a way to make money out of them. Draft your budget, know the right people. Sometimes people bring people into their committee. Those people end up tearing the whole thing apart or making their wedding look sour on that day. I've heard of cases where somebody in the committee is the one collecting the money, as and the person run away with the money. And then the family is now having issues. So all of these things, you must put it together, talk about it. Remember that any relationship that will lead to marriage must start with acquaintance. Don't just meet anybody randomly and begin to tell people we are dating. You must start with acquaintance, you must be built to friendship, and then the dating, then you can now talk about marriage. See you in our other videos. Thank you.